Hello everyone, my name is Cesar Avila Campos, and I'm going to talk about the US and the trade wars with China and Mexico. I am a student of international relations. The information that I will relate was extracted from the lecture Trades and Emerging Countries in the 21st Century. Make America and its partner lose again. I will talk a little about the most important points that the reading reveals, and in the end, a little reflection as a conclusion. I hope you like it, and I will start. Okay, 2016 was a very interesting year in terms of international politics, with the departure of the United Kingdom from the European Union, the arrival of Donald Trump to power, and its protectionism, promising that for the benefit of his population and war for them, will impose new tariff rates on Mexico and China. China and Mexico are very important for the economy of the United States. According to the level of presence that these countries have in their businesses, whether at the level of labor force, investment, and imports and exports, as well as many examples. In the case of China, it's quite curious since the United States puts higher tariffs on products that come from China. Trade blocks, tariff barriers, and many other forms of protectionism. But to a degree in which China feels attacked and even affected by these measures, which leads to a response of equal magnitude on their part, which initiates a battle that does nothing but create conflicts to international trade and adversely affect both. Personally, I think that it's the United States that is wrong in this situation, because it makes China act as it does, and if the two could agree on something beneficial to the situation would be resolved. But the current president, Donald Trump, does not allow that this happen. Now, something that can also happen is the situation with Mexico. The migratory and protectionist policies, as well as when he wanted to redo the free trade agreement between Mexico, Canada, and the United States, caused many problems on the border, as well as many losses for companies from both countries, which I believe was not a smart move on Trump's part. If this kind of problem continue, Mexico will probably have to take actions either negotiating or perhaps doing the same as China and answering the US in the same way, with higher tariffs, delaying products, and causing problems with the desire to reduce this type of measures. Although obviously Mexico does not have the weight that China has and cannot be against Trump so easy, but being a battle partner for the United States could perhaps achieve something. Something that could put the United States on the ropes would be the scenario mentioned in the reading where China and Mexico make alliance and both take action against the measures of the United States. This would be a very interesting scenario in international politics because many believe that the United States is very confident, placing itself at the top of the World Trade Organization, but that many countries are slowly taking the stance against the United States for their abuses and use of force and hegemony. In the reading, mention is made of the possible scenario that may result from these economic confrontations between the United States and emerging economies. In no case does the United States obtain benefits, it only finds problems generated from everything caused by its protectionism. In all the scenarios the same, the benefits attributed to the United States are zero. It is true that some US sectors may benefit from these scenarios in terms of value added, like textiles, wearing apparel, and leather products, electronic equipment, and so on. But these gains are to the detriment of other sectors like chemical, rubber, plastic products, crops, meat and dairy products, motor vehicles and parts, and transportation equipment, as well to the detriment of workers, both skilled or unskilled, and in both agriculture and non-agricultural activities. All of these scenarios have a negative impact on the real remuneration of both unskilled workers and skilled workers in the United States, particularly in unskilled workers in primary sectors, This impact is driven by the adverse outcome for US agriculture. Similarly, capital is negatively affected in all cases. Something that could also be generated is the existence of a group or another country benefit from this economic war between countries, which could be any important country such as Germany, Japan, France, etc. That when this crisis occurs between China, Mexico, and the United States, they have the free ways to take control in this situation and position themselves as the new country with the most beneficial policies for others. It's necessary to say that someone always take benefits from crisis. You just have to have one idea and be at the right time. I do in this case is not different. As a concluding remark, it is important to restate that trade wars are potentially harmful for the world economy. Protectionism is not the right way to reduce current account of deficits from the private and public sectors, inasmuch as these deficits are mainly the consequence of insufficient net savings. It is also important to remember the role of the multilateral trade system that provides mediation for the litigation of. The government believes that some of these trading partners are implementing unfair trade practices at the expense of US producers. The WTO is the right arena in which to complain and obtain a removal or for change in this practice. Trump has to take some changes, especially in part of foreign policy, since the decision he has taken, at least from the point of view of many scholars and mine, have not been policies that benefits the United States, and they have made it look a little weaker than in the past government. It is true that China and Mexico have been affected, but for Mexico it is worse, since of the three is the weakest in terms of economic power, and I think is the one that has done least to deserve US policies. Hopefully this problem can be solved soon, and in the end just be the preamble of a new close relationship between these countries involved.